Hi, welcome back. Today in our Show Don't Tell color series, we're going to do white. So let's take a look at the color white. Hi, I'm Autumn Bardeau. Here you will find writing tips, author tools, and hopefully some inspiration, because we all need that, for writing and living your best author life. So on the series today, white, what it can mean, how you can show emotion and feeling and conflict and theme with the color white. White is purity and innocence and simplicity. It's lightness, but it's also sterility or a sterile environment. White is brides and baptism. It's goodness, it's holiness, but it's also surrender and peace. It also has some negative connotations or meanings or feelings. White is distant. White feels impersonable. Personable? Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. And cold. Think snow or a whiteout. Let's look at some idioms that make us think of white or that are common, because when we look at idioms, when we look at common phrases and terms, that is part of the feeling that we get with white. So we've got a white flag, a white tie event, a little white lie. Somebody can turn white as a sheet. Then of course there's Snow White. There's white trash and the white elephant and white on rice. Then there's the White House and the white feather and white hot. Let's look at some synonyms for white. And I feel like this also helps figuring out feeling and emotion, that when somebody sees white, reads white, what images, thoughts, feelings come to mind. So these are synonyms for white, which a lot less than the color black, which we did with the last color symbolism one. So synonyms were extremely pale and lacking color. That was it. Black seemed to have a whole lot more different meanings attached to it. So of course I always like looking at paint colors, because that gives you more feelings, emotions of what you can do with white when describing something that is white. So remember how you identify a color. The descriptor or adjective that you use to describe a color will evoke feelings, emotions, an image, something connected to an image, and that's all part and parcel of that show Don't Tell. So here are some paint colors, and maybe you have these on your wall. There's Swiss coffee, eggshell, white dove, and as I'm saying these, feel them, and you'll get it. You'll feel the showing versus the telling, because white dove feels ethereal, religious, divine, and godly. Swiss coffee, not so much. Eggshell feels fragile. There's bone, which, an entirely different image comes to mind, right? And then there's porcelain. There's frost. There's alabaster. Coconut. And I just made a coconut raspberry cake for my hubby for Valentine's Day. So that coconut was pretty white. And that's sweet and kind of tropical feeling. There's cotton, sugar, chalk. Think of the image that chalk gives you, school, learning, as opposed to sugar, sweet. There's mist white, rice white, sea salt, lace, alpine, chili, cream, purity, and aspen. These were all paint colors, and that was just a few that I quickly looked up. Now, of course, I did look up nail polish colors because I feel like sometimes they are more fun And when you're writing, maybe it's not the fun, but it will give you ideas for evoking an image, a feeling, an emotion that you want to convey without telling it. So the nail polish colors were Amazing Grace, which, very odd. Marshmallow, loved Marshmallow. Pearl and Moonstone. Marshmallow, once again, feels sticky and sweet and fun. Pearl, a little bit more elevated and sophisticated. Moonstone, a little bit more mystical. We also have some stones that are white, like calcite and dolomites. And then there's something called a white, oh, and then of course there's white animals. There's not a lot of them, right? But there's sheep, swan, the Arctic hare, polar bears. Those were just a few ways to describe white, all giving you a different feeling, a different emotion. So now let's take a look at some sentences, because we've been doing sentences in all of these that help you understand the difference between the showing versus the telling. So if I write, her kitchen was alpine white, the appliance, the color of eggshells and cotton, the kitchen feels a little bit austere, but clean and a little bit cold with that alpine white. I don't feel like there's a lot of baking going on in that kitchen, and it slightly feels fragile. The air, the attitude in that kitchen gives you a slightly sense that there's some fragility involved, and that's with the eggshell. Like anything, it's like masking the prettiness of this white kitchen. So it gives you a much different feeling then, and here's our second sentence. Her kitchen walls were marshmallow with a sugar white fridge and cream colored tile. It feels warmer, doesn't it? Not as harsh. It's sweet. We have the marshmallow. Like good things will happen in that kitchen. Now, are these over-the-top descriptions? A lot of my descriptions, those past two and the last one, yes, they're over the top. But it's to prove a point that the words you use to describe the color will evoke or give us this instant feeling or this emotion, the feels, as they like to say, right? And you use that to show setting, person, conflict, character. I said person, so you know what I meant. Something that is frost-colored provides a much different sensory image than coconut white. One feels cold, the other feels warm. A fabric described as bone evokes a much different emotion and image than one described as snow. How does the color descriptor make you feel? So, next week we're going to do gray, and that will end our color descriptors show don't tell series. I have lots more show don't tell coming up. So if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Follow me on, I've got on all of them. I'm just on all of those social media things. Okay, so we're gonna do our little close. Until then, may the moonstone guide your dreams. Create in the misty white of your mind, and embrace the pearls of your genius descriptions. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.